Shipping content mostly and damn near mainly benefits the man and never the woman.
I think shipping content, I think it's the worst content you could do possible. Unless someone in here can prove me wrong.
I'm Kai on Cenat on Twitch. Okay, so look.
Okay, like I said, if you are a part of the debate club, this is your time to start coming up, making your way to the stage now. We didn't have too many classes because a lot of shit was happening. Okay, so what I'm doing is, like I said, whenever I introduced this club, I wasn't trying to do too much like actual real debating in the sense where it's gonna be like, you know, argue to argue. I kind of want to do more YouTube style content that would be a little bit more entertaining for streaming and YouTube. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 1 versus, what's that, 6 or however many people we have. And the person that agreed to, I appreciate you, is StableRonaldo, one of the biggest streamers on the platform. We actually have another spot for somebody. If anybody from the crowd want to jump in, not mad at it, Mud. Come on, whoever said it, come on in. Go ahead. Just in case nobody know who you are, go ahead.
What's up, y'all? My name's Ron, I'm a streamer, and I'm debating people today. And I've never debated anyone, so yeah, let's do it. Hey, but I'm doing real debates, by the way. So anyone who's coming up here, if you want to troll, let me know now. I'll troll, but like, if y'all want to debate, I'm here to debate.
These are going to be streaming, university-related things, or just things about streaming. So what's going to happen is, I am going to say one thing, and then maybe y'all can do some type of crowd work if y'all agree or disagree. And then somebody's going to go up here just to debate. So if you agree with it, everyone that comes up here is going to have to debate the opposite side.
Anyone up here ends up agreeing with me. Anyone in the crowd can come up. That too. Anyone who disagrees.
Any flow.
Anyone.
Okay, so let's start off with the first one. Y'all understand what's going on. We're gonna start with something easy. Did the alumni add value overall whenever they came?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I don't think anyone's, you guys don't disagree with that? I don't think anyone.
We're gonna have to. That's the fun part of it.
I have to disagree?
No. You say what you want to do. They're going to come and do the opposite.
Okay, yeah, I do think they added value. I saw some people say that the alumni, they came for one day, it was boring, or they didn't do enough, or they did the same repetitive stuff. But when you bring people back, especially that big, it brings new eyes, new people that some people wouldn't see smaller streamers. So yeah, I do think they added value.
Who wants to crack at it first? Don't get nervous now. There it is, my nigga Doug.
So are you going to troll me or are you going to be for real? Seriously, let me know, Doug.
So you agreed that having the people from 2025 came helped this class?
That's not what I said. I didn't say I don't think it helped, but I think it added value. I think adding any big streamers' names to a community event is a good thing.
Yeah, I believe, even though I don't have a problem with them coming, I did feel like once they came, it kind of demotivated the rest of the people that was here seeing them come.
So did you feel demotivated?
Not me, but I can speak for other people.
So you're going to speak for other people saying demotivated. Okay, so how so? Break that down.
I'll just say, I just seen a lot of people get demotivated. I seen a lot of streams go off once they was there. I didn't see much people in the cafeteria, see more people in their dorms. When people like us, like me and you, Ron, that's comfortable with around any camera, can bait with anybody, be in any situation to make it content, these people here don't know how to do it, so they want to be motivated. But it was overstimulated with that yesterday, so I think like...
So can I ask then, adding on to that, what made people go inside their dorms considering the fact the alumni only really came in the middle of the day, and when they came, the only people that were outside really fighting were a couple, and then at nighttime they added value by, we all went out to Nick Naracina's party, and we all went to the club and did things, and it was fun. And that following night, DDG hosted a party for anyone to go to, etc.
No, I'm
saying, how did that make people, considering if you said that, correct me if I'm wrong right now, but you said that everyone felt less motivated, they turned off their streams.
I didn't say everybody, I said
like the
most
smaller
people,
streamers.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the difference between the other big streamers that are in this room, including myself, for the last couple of days? How is that any different?
The difference between is like you are one of the big creators that was there.
I'm saying
you don't know how to you don't know how someone lower feels because you haven't been low in years. So just like if you can't tell a homeless man how to be homeless, you won't be there anymore.
So just so I'm confused what the argument is at this point now. So you're saying that because the alumni came, it made the smaller streamers feel demotivated? And my argument to that is, like the same way the alumni came in when the other big streamers are around, that's my argument that I'm a little bit confused on. Can't they feel the same way? I feel like that's kind of an excuse. Like, what does big streamers more coming in add on?
Well, I think when these people...
I'm just asking, by the way.
No, I'm saying I think that the creators here had time to adjust to the people that was here and then to be swarmed with even bigger creators. When it took them 2-3 days to get adjusted to us, and then they got to go in on today is the 4th day, to be by even bigger creators. Streamer University is already a big thing, right? We had 2 creators that made it even bigger outside, that was outside of not even the building. Funny Mike and DDG literally brought a lot of attention to Streamer University, and just the smaller creators just being on that, knowing that, oh yeah, I'm going to Streamer University and he's not, I have a chance, and then seeing him, it's kind of like would demotivate a smaller creator just because they like all eyes are on him.
But see, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't necessarily disagree with that at all. My point was, I think that they added more content, but did they belittle maybe or like make it harder for smaller streamers? Yeah, I could see that because I think any big name that comes in makes it harder. Anyway, I think we can agree to disagree. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna wrap that part up. Now y'all get the flow. Y'all get the flow with This is what the y'all was supposed to be doing if y'all would have showed up. But nah, I do know it was a lot of shit happening as soon as the club started, so I ain't mad at y'all. Like, Mr. Beast dropped that 20,000. Go ahead and get that, gang. I ain't even mad at that. Okay, so the next one that we have is something else. And go ahead and put y'all input in, yays, nays, as soon as I say it, just so we get a whole crowd feel. We got some of the biggest streamers in the world, content creators in the world, and some of the smallest, and we all doing our thing. So the next one I have is it upon the bigger streamers to interact with the smaller streamers, or is it on the smaller streamers to put their hat up and have that conversation with the bigger streamers? You had to pick a side. Do you put it on y'all, or would you put it on the smaller streamers to have that interaction first and break that ice?
I think that, and I said this before, I think smaller streamers coming up to bigger streamers is not a problem whatsoever. I think the only thing is, and I think I don't know if any of the bigger creators, this could be like, it doesn't have to be people who average 10,000 views, any creator who's known, etc. Nobody wants to just, and this is off campus too, like nobody just wants random people to run up to them in clip form, whether you guys are in public. There's some people in here who IRL stream and they just run up and just try to get a quick clip off. I think there's a difference between that and natural interactions. There's many smaller streamers in here that I've interacted with and I built a bond with and I actually created moments with, you know, and I can list some of them off, but that's besides the point. But it's different because I'm not searching for that. I think the moment just kind of happens. So I think my answer to that is I don't think you should force that at all. So if you're a smaller creator, I don't think you should force that. I think you should just naturally let it happen. And for any of the creators that I was with, they can maybe add on to that. Yeah.
But so you're saying that the smaller creators should break that ice first?
Honestly, I don't know both those points because I feel like there is no answer to that. I feel like it should just happen naturally, in my opinion.
But what I'm saying, like, if you were to, because obviously,
if I was a smaller streamer, I wouldn't necessarily force things, but I also wouldn't be shy to go up to people. There's a difference between going up to a creator, and this is anyone in life, right? If you go up to someone and say, I want a job, you're not gonna get a job. You know what I'm saying? You have to just let naturally happen. So it's like, I feel like if you're around big creators, just stay around and the moment will happen naturally. Simple as that. Like I saw a good example is literally just Pudgy right now. After, what was it, the basketball game? Or I think it was before the basketball game, I just saw him sitting and I was right next to him and we just ended up talking for about 45 minutes, talking about life, talking about other things. And he mentioned even the next day how I motivated him. So yeah.
Yeah, what side are you on though? Like if you just had to choose, because obviously people should mingle. But like online, the reason why I chose this question is because online, everyone is having that debate of, okay, bigger streamers aren't coming out of the way to talk to smaller streamers. Or some people say smaller streamers should go and speak to the bigger streamers, even if they don't speak to them.
Think, I can't speak for other big creators, but for me personally, I do think you should, as a bigger creator, try to create moments for the smaller streamers, yes.
Okay, somebody go on the side of the smaller streamer should go out of the way to have the conversation with the bigger streamer.
Hello, I'm Cool Butterfly with 4 Ys. Nice to meet you all. I do want to say I am in the middle too, so for anyone that is listening to this, please know I'm in the middle. But I think as a smaller creator, we should have the confidence to go up to the bigger creators because we have this opportunity today. Like I saw something online that said the acceptance rate for Streaming University was like so different compared to like Yale and all these other big universities. So it's like, imagine that you have once in a lifetime opportunity and you're placed in a room in a space where you have all of these content creators and streamers that can provide all of the information or just conversation, like you said, building natural connections, networking with a lot of people that are there. So just trying to get yourself or push yourself to be uncomfortable so that eventually you do get comfortable. You know what I mean?
So I don't disagree with that, and I'll break what you said down. So I do think that smaller creators should be around bigger creators, like what you said. I just think it's different between creating a moment and being natural, right? So anyone can run up on this stage as a small creator and just make a clip or whatever they want because they're in front of a lot of creators right now. It's different than the example I use, like with Pudgy, where we're just outside, we're just talking, and then it creates a moment where it's natural networking, where it actually feels like a friendship, you know? I'm sure there's so many creators in here, big or small, that they can create moments, but like, what are the moments after Streamer University? Am I ever gonna see you again? There's a couple people in here who were way smaller who I will see again because I actually created a bond with them. I created a relationship. I networked with them, and it worked out naturally.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but I also think having a plan, because you know a lot of the content creators creators that are here, you probably watch them when they are home. You know what kind of content they're in. So like, let's say if somebody's into TikTok, okay, go make a TikTok with them. Or if it's just like, a niche comment or a question that you have about something, brand deals and things like that, connecting with them, especially the professors.
But I agree with that.
But you're supposed to be.
No, but I think the question was.
At some point, in debate, y'all might naturally come to agree or disagree. You'll naturally come up to it.
I think this is a hard question.
Yeah, but
I think it's like worded so hard, but I understand what you're saying on the internet, where it's basically like, oh, like the argument too, and I don't know if I'm going off topic on this, but it's like, why is there so many big creators? They're not helping the small creators. Is that correct? I think a lot of the. Go ahead, yeah.
No, I was gonna say I'm run through a few of these, so I don't want these to be too long, just so everybody come up here and get their shine.
Right.
So we gonna, but I'm gonna let you finish though. Yeah, go ahead.
The one last comment I want to say, because like I'm still in the middle. I think it's a dual relationship. I think on both ends. So big creators could go up to smaller creators, like if you see someone by themselves, or like in their room, going knocking on the door, things like that, to kind of like make them feel comfortable, because this is a different environment for a lot of people. So that could like make them, feel more compelled and open to do things. But I think on the other end too, as smaller streamers, we do have that responsibility as well. Yeah.
Good debates. Good debates. Good topics. What I'm gonna say is, because there are a lot of big streamers in here who have large communities or whatnot, do you think that streamers should be responsible how their communities act and behave? But this time, we can have multiple people come up.
So
like I said, I want to make sure everybody
say the question
can say
one more time.
something. Okay, so streamers should be responsible for their communities and how they act online.
Streamers or just like people, like creators,
creators. Yeah, your community. If you create content,
I would say again, I hate to just be like a fence sitter, but it's hard to answer this question like without fence sitting, but it's like yes and no, because I would say no more, because how are you going to control, let's say if you have, I'm going to use a small example. Let's just say you even have like 100 viewers, right? Realistically speaking, if you tell someone not to do something in front of 100 people, there's going to be 1 or 2 that end up doing it. That's just realistic. So now you put that at a grand scheme where if you have 10,000 viewers, 50,000 viewers, maybe even 100,000 viewers, now you're looking at thousands of people. You can't control that. And then there's also 1,000 negative people. I'm sure everyone knows in this room, when you open things, negative people are super negative. Like they're going to go above and beyond because they know it gets your attention. So no, I don't think you can control it. No.
Somebody come up here and debate them on that. Be anybody. And like I said, we can shoot these off a little bit quicker. I want everybody to go ahead and get there.
I think as a streamer, you can control the narrative. So I think yes, if you're a streamer, you could tell your chat. You could check them. So tell them, hey guys, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this. And obviously, not everyone in life is gonna listen to you and do everything you say. But if you push a certain narrative as kind of like the leader of your community.
But you're saying if I push the narrative, like an aggressive narrative, yeah? Or are you saying?
Yeah, I think.
If you push an aggressive narrative, yeah, you're controlling that now. Now you're in control. You're telling people, I feel aggressive for this. I want people to back me up. That's a whole different thing than saying something like, oh, don't send hate to this person, even though they did something, whatever.
Right.
And then have people who end up sending hate to that person. You can't control that. I mean, there's an example in here. Yeah, Lacey yesterday, he got his leg pulled and he said on his stream, don't send hate. And a ton of hate came through from every type of community.
That's a question, Ron.
Go ahead.
You don't think there's a difference between, let's say, Ludwig, his chat being mad at someone, and think about the worst case streamer, one of their chats get mad at someone.
No, there is a difference. It's for sure about it's for sure different from the creator too. It really depends on the creator. If the creator is someone who's like controversial, or if the creator is someone who is all over the place, if the creator is emotional, it is very different. There's a lot of people who handle things differently and have different communities. So that question is kind of different for everyone. But I would say for the majority of big creators, not including someone like Ludwig who claims to have a leash on his community, I think for most creators, I would say overall it is harder to control a narrative to an extent. I would say. Go ahead.
Is the control within your stream, or the control of people going outside of your stream to do things in other places? Because it's like
you can control your. I think you can control your.
But just because somebody's sending hate from my stream doesn't mean they're part of my community.
Well, that's my point. That's kind of adding on to my point, right? I don't average 50,000 viewers. I don't, right? I'm averaging that because of this event at the moment, and I'm grateful for that, by the way. But there's so many people that are not a part of my community that are watching me right now, and I'm aware of that, right? I can't control all these new people, right? I'll have some people come on my stream and just hate on people just coming in the frame for some reason, and then my chat's like, oh, this is AIDS, blah, blah, and I'm like, well, yeah, but I don't know if this is my community or this is people, right? When I go sub-only, it's way more control. This is my community, So, yeah.
Yeah, I just think just think there's degrees to it. Like, I think if you look at like the most toxic fan bases, most of the time the content that creator's putting out is toxic content, and I think you attract those kind of people who are entertained by that, and so
For sure.
you're gonna build that type of audience.
No, for sure, and that's why I said it's kind of different. And I use again like how Ludwig was an example, and then you say that the worst kick streamer rage. It is a big difference, right? Like I don't even want to give like acknowledgement to like toxic streamers, but like if I agree with that, if there's a toxic streamer and you have a toxic community, it's gonna be bad for anyone, right? You could say something, they're not gonna listen.
I got one thing to say. I agree with you. I do want to say this about communities though, because everybody has a community, but just like in real life, you can't teach somebody or you can't tell somebody how to love somebody else. It's just that's just how they show love. You might be somebody's favorite creator, their favorite entertainment, right? And if something bad happens to you, they just feel like they got to protect you.
For sure.
Now, you can ignore people. That's how some people do it. Or you got other people that will just do their opinion differently. So I don't think you have no control over your community because they're just showing, you can't control what somebody say. You could be like, don't do that. They're still going to do it. The only way to stop it is to not have a community.
Adding to that, it's more or less like what you just said, you can't control everything. That is true. There's always going to be people who have their opinion. You can only, for me as an example, I'll just say when something happens in my community, I tell people to stop. I try not to give it attention. And then if they keep talking about it, usually I'll just close the chat or whatever where I ignore it. So yeah.
One last person on this one. And then we got one more question. We're going to wrap it up. This is Cenat. Hey.
For this question? For this question?
I have a counter argument. So first of all, I agree with the take that you can't.
You like to yap though, so let's not keep it too.
I'm you like to agree on the. I agree with you on the take that like you can't control everyone, right? So you can't control and make 100 people stop talking shit. Obviously, you can tell them, and 80 of them are gonna stop talking shit, and 20 of them are gonna not. But I feel like as a creator, you have a responsibility that your core community is a representation of you and your morals. And so how I feel on that is that if I don't want someone to send hate, at the very least, it is my responsibility as a creator to make sure that my community is not doing that. And the people that continue to do it, normally what I do is I remove them from my community. And I'm gonna be honest, but my debate that I don't like, and it's something that big creators dance around, but I'm just gonna be honest because it's true, is I've talked to a lot of big creators who have toxic communities. And every time I do, the one thing they say is, I don't wanna call my community out because if I do, I'm gonna lose my audience. And I think that's an excuse to allow bad behavior.
Are you saying me though?
No, not you. I'm saying in general, not you. I don't even think the stable is toxic. I don't think the stable's toxic at all. Not the stable.
I can't speak for the other big creators, but like, there's not really a counter argument because I don't disagree with that. Right. Like, trying to think how to respond to this properly.
All right, we gonna wrap that question up.
She literally said it wasn't about me, but all right.
Like I said.
I swear I was not talking about you. I have a few in mind.
No, but I agree. But that goes back to kind of what Rage said, right? If you just to quickly do this, if you are a toxic streamer and you don't want to lose your community, yeah, that person's probably not a good person, right? That person probably just cares about other things rather than his community. People probably care about money. There's people who have different looks. They have money. They want views. They want popularity, clout, whatever it is. That's different from just wanting a community. There's some people in this audience that all they care about is just having people to look forward to during the day. So I agree with that.
So wrap that one up. We got one more. Appreciate you, Cenat, for coming to the stage. All right, we got one last question, and I do think this has a lot to do with, some of the content that happens naturally, but this is something that I think people have a strong opinion for. Damn near mainly benefits the man and never the woman. If you, specifically on Twitch, if you are involved in shipping content, as a man you will be good, but the women are always left in the worst place.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree with that, and I've talked about this on my stream. First of all, I think shipping content, any creator in here, whether you want to listen to me or not, I think it's the worst content you could do possible. The absolute worst content is having a relationship online, number one, whether you're big or small, because you're just asking for opinions. You're asking people to be parasocial. You're asking people to care about something that they shouldn't care about. So I think that's dumb.
Yeah, hi guys, my name is Amber Tyson on all platforms. But yeah, I definitely 1,000% agree, especially longevity-wise. I feel like it makes the women, their value decreases, and men, it's just like, obviously it's double standard because men can do as many as collabs, whatever. It could be friendly if a woman even does a collab with the opposite sex, and they'll still scrutinize and call them all type of different names, even if it's friendly. So I definitely 1,000% agree that women do have the lower end.
When it comes to like YouTube and everything, it's glorified to be in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And both parties to me, like, benefit, or if they break up, they break up. But I feel like because the streaming community has become so toxic, it's like, oh, the girl is degraded and she can do this, she can do that, and when the guy is glorified, he doesn't have hella help.
Well, yeah, that also goes to like normal, not normal, but like the culture that goes on even in the world where people, you know, it's a crazy example, but if a girl sleeps with 100 dudes, she's a whore, and then if a guy sleeps with 100 girls, he's deemed cool. You know, it's the same culture. No, people can laugh, but that's the truth. That's what people say online. And so it's like, it is the same thing on the streaming culture. I mean, you look at YouTube content creators, you look at streaming content creators, you look at TikTok content creators who have relationships, it's never really ends that good. Majority, I would say it never ends good at all. And there's always hate towards either the woman, or they call her names or whatever, and then the guy, they say they used, whatever it might be, and there's not really any winners in my opinion.
Hi, you guys, chakra shooter everywhere on platforms. I 100% agree. I think the only exception maybe is if the woman has a bigger name. For example, maybe, and don't shoot me for this, but like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, like she think is more popular in pop culture. I'm just saying. I think she's a little bit more popular, and I feel like if something was to go bad, her fans could attack the male. I think that's the only exception where it wouldn't really, and that was a bad example.
I was gonna say, it's kind of hard to answer because you're talking about someone who plays a sport who has a whole different audience than someone who has majority, I would say 99% probably women audience. Could be wrong. Hopefully I don't get my IP on Twitter or something. But we're talking about like the streaming culture, I would say it never works out. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Unless someone in here can prove me wrong. I would love to actually hear someone say where it does work out, because I'll debate that, because I really don't think it does.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Oh.
Self to everybody that's here.
Hi, I'm Kai Cenat. Hi, damn. I'm Kai on Kai Cenat on Twitch. Okay, so look, I agree with you to an extent. I feel like shipping content or with girls, obviously you'll have parasocial people who's going to automatically just ping out together, but it depends on like the history of content that you did in the past. Like if there are creators out there who just intentionally do certain things because they know it's going to go crazy. For example, I just know like a good creator who is a woman is somebody like Yana. What Yana does, she doesn't put herself in the scenarios to even be shit with anybody. Her personality thrives through the roof. People automatically like gravitate towards, which allows her to just collab with any male in this room or anybody in the world. I feel like when that is your core content, you know it keeps working for you, and you don't display enough personality, it's just on you at that point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to your point is the creator is, for someone, example, like you said, Yana, right? If Yana's walking around with other male creators and she's not personally making shipping content with them, I agree with that. But I'm saying from the internet's perspective, like if someone like is like, oh, I want to date you on stream, I want to see you on stream every single week because they know it gets views, that's what I think is bad.
Yeah, but what if it's genuine? It benefits both.
Well, as long as it's approached on the internet. I think I could be wrong, but what you were more or less saying was someone who is trying to not make it genuine. It's trying to be like, oh, we're a relationship or we're trying to get together.
In my head, I'm just thinking shipping content as a whole.
Because I would say shipping content is more or less like when you...
And it's not even shipping content. Realistically, is even if you know, because some people might do shipping content, but they will see the audience start, attaching them together, and then I still kind of label that as shipping if you know the world.
Yeah, but as long as you shut it down, and I mean, they're going to hate me in here, but like a great example is Cenat and Agent. When they started doing content together, everyone said they should date. Everyone was parasocial. Everyone was weird. Everyone was saying weird things, and they shut it down, and they continued to make content, and they continued to do streams with each other. So as long as you shut it down and you don't farm it, because there's a lot of creators who will farm it, because they know people are going to be parasocial and want to see them together. So
these are all fucking hard questions, Marcus. What the
What, Lacey?
That's the whole point. Say no more. Okay, he didn't shout his Twitch out.
Andrew Urick on Twitch. That's UHRIK.
All right, so we wrapped it up. I know we went a little bit over time. I'm sorry, yo. Don't kill me, Bree and Bake. All right, I appreciate y'all and everybody that came up on stage. Go ahead, round of applause for them.